The Jerusalem Institute for Security Strategy recently reported that Israel should prepare for the likelihood of a major war in the very near future. At the same time, it's no secret that Israel's military intelligence recently warned the leadership that the probability of a major war is higher than the probability of peace. We will understand what is at stake in this video. Be sure to watch it to the end. It's no secret that there is already a war going on between Israel and Iran. This is a limited war that includes an attack on tankers, a special forces war, airstrikes and all kinds of terror, kidnappings, liquidations, and so on. This is a low-intensity war that changes periodically, so analytical centers and Israeli military intelligence are talking about a big war. Iran has deployed large forces in many states, such as Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and Lebanon. Let's talk about the strengths of the parties. Hezbollah is a group that has been dominating Lebanon for decades. In fact, it's the second army or even a state within a state. It was even represented in the Lebanese parliament. At the same time, Hezbollah's armed forces are not subordinate to the Lebanese government. At the moment, Hezbollah's armed forces comprise up to 100,000 militants. Regular forces are about 15,000 people. 50,000 is like the first wave of mobilization, and the next wave of mobilization is just up to hundreds of thousands of people. For the Middle East, these are significant forces. For comparison, the regular Israeli army without mobilization is 170,000 people, along with aviation and fleet. Until recently, Hezbollah's military strategy meant shelling Israel with a pan-offense. That is, when the big fighting began, day after day, they increased the intensity of the shelling, moving them deeper into the territory of Israel. Now, they have their military strategy looks like this: that on the first day of the war, they will take advantage and realize the maximum possibilities for striking with missiles. They will not try to stall for time, but will implement everything in the first days. The second change is that earlier, in the case of a direct military clash with Israel, Hezbollah occupied only passive defense, trying to let Israel into the territory of Lebanon, where traps and all kinds of ambushes were waiting for him. Now, the concept is changed. After the start of hostilities with the help of selected assault units, they will try to occupy the northern regions of Israel. Obviously, Hezbollah will not be able to gain a foothold in these territories, but the psychological factor itself is important. To this end, they are creating a network of tunnels that Israel is fighting. Hezbollah is actually a small army that has very good combat experience, which perhaps even a professional NATO army does not have. Hezbollah fought for many years in Syria on the side of Assad during the civil war. Their commanders and professional units have tremendous experience in combat operations. But how will Israel act in the first days of the war? On the first day of hostilities, Israel will defeat targets in Lebanon and Syria with the help of aviation. We are talking about at least 3,000 targets that will be hit on the first day. Then this figure will grow and new goals will appear. The intensity of the bombing and fire will increase from day to day in order to completely paralyze Hezbollah's ability to strike at Israel. There's also a possibility of conducting a ground operation to destroy infrastructure, bases, and tunnels in Lebanon. Tank units, mechanized units, special forces, and various other forces will be involved. One of the reasons why Israel is avoiding war by all means is that human life is very much valued in Israel. Most of the Israeli army consists of young conscripts, the loss of which will cause strong indignation in Israeli society. Well, let's hope that the war will not happen, but we need to understand that there is always a possibility of developing a worst-case scenario and start from it already. The worst-case scenario, as Israeli intelligence has already said, is the likelihood of a major war. Thanks to everyone who listened, and see you next time.